I am really excited because I've been praying on something that I wanted the Lord to teach me, and it's just a little tidbit, and I want to share it with you guys. About 2, 3 years ago, we had a Bible study at our ladies group on the book of Revelation. Well, yeah, that was real interesting. Well, I did a thing on the morning star, which is Jesus, and it's also Satan, or the day star. So that kind of confused me, so I just kind of brushed over it and asked the Lord to help me. So I found this website where they have the Hebrew Bible, and I watched a short video. And so in Isaiah, I'll just say what he said. In Isaiah 14, it talks about the shining morning star, how you have fallen. And in Revelation, it says, I, Jesus, am the root and the offspring of David, the bright morning star. So if you go to the Hebrew translation, the Hebrew, which was from the Aramaic into Hebrew. When you go into the Hebrew version, the word bright morning star is not even in there. So when they say morning star, it refers to Satan, not Jesus. But it gets confusing for people when they read it in Revelation 22:16, where it says, I am the morning star.
Yeah.
Because Jesus is talking. And then also in the book of 2 Peter 1:9, because of the mistranslation, when you read that, can someone pull that up?
I've got Job 38:7 here. And it says, when the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. So there it shows us the morning star is not God.
Right. But can you bring up 2 Peter 1:9 on that?
It's right here.
Okay.
And we have the prophetic word more fully confirmed, to which you will do well to pay attention, as to a lamp shining in a dark place until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your heart.
So after reading Revelation 22, you are led to believe it's talking about Jesus right here, because it would, Jesus is in our hearts, But it doesn't even mention morning star
and right here, Bible. Yeah, Revelation 22:16.
Yeah, that is not in the Hebrew Bible, in the Hebrew translation.
Right, because it's a Greek.
So, but I just found it was educational to me, because I always got confused, because here in Isaiah it's talking about Satan falling from heaven, the morning star, and then in Revelation it's talking about Jesus being the bright morning star. So it was confusing to me. So anyway, finding that out, that in the Hebrew it's not even in there. Bright morning star is not in there.
Let's look. Well, the only place the bright morning star is in Revelation 22.
Right.
The rest is the morning star.
Right.
So it was 2:19.
Yeah,
Oh,
Second Peter.
1:9.
Oh, 1:9.
It says
Peter
the
1:9.
sun rises in the Hebrew. It's talking about the sun rising. It rises in the morning. It doesn't have star in there.
Oh, rises in the morning in first.
Right.
Yeah.
So can you read that again? Just the last part.
This is Second Peter 1:19. Is that what you want?
Yeah, right. So until the day dawns and the morning rises in your hearts. That's how it should be read.
Okay, let's find that. Second Peter 1:19.
So whenever I bring something out like this, if anybody knows better, correct me, because
This is what God's been teaching you. Okay, so it says right here. So until the dawn and the morning star rise in your hearts. Okay, so that is Second Peter 1:19.
1:9.
Oh, you want 1:9?
Oh, is it 1:19?
It's 19.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No wonder.
I wrote it
One-
wrong.
Yeah.
You
have this.
At that and I said, where's she getting that from?
1:19.
I wrote it down wrong.
2 Peter 1:19.
She has the same dyslexia we are, Rusty.
Okay.
Okay, so that is really good. So we're gonna find it. We want it Greek.
So anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out and praise to God for showing that to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had
Yeah.
to wait years for it. So sometimes if you have a question for the Lord,
That was about 3 years ago.
yeah. Wow.
And he
That's
just
good,
gave
Tia.
you
But
the
I
answer.
remember it bothered me during the class because I alluded to the fact that it was talking about Satan.
Well, we should have talked about it then.
Well, I didn't put two. I wasn't very good at it.
But
So
in Revelation 22:16, it's taught that Jesus is the bright morning star, right?
no, bright morning star is not even in there in the Hebrew translation. Not the Greek.
I think
Yeah, but there is no Hebrew translation.
it's
Aramaic.
It's Greek.
It's Greek.
It was the Hebrew Bible has been translated from the Aramaic into Hebrew. Is what he said.
Oh, okay. So it's a Hebrew New Testament?
Right. It's that website I showed you.
Okay, yeah, that website.
If you were-
Yeah, and that's a real that's this. The Hebrew Revelation, Cape John. Okay, so this is a translation from two manuscripts that are called MS for manuscripts 00.1.16 and manuscript 00.1.32 from the Cambridge University. These manuscripts were found as Syrian, I think they're Syrian.
I didn't print all that.
Yeah, but they were found and rarely used in studying the scriptures. And so TF found this website on it, and she printed out me a copy of it.
Oh, cool.
We translated the book of Revelation, the book of Jude, and the book of James. So I'm giving James a copy of James.
Is there a website that we
Yes,
can?
I'll put it in Signal.
Okay,
So
yeah,
you guys can look at it.
yeah.
And it brings up some different concepts.
Right, and just like reading the book of Enoch,
Mm.
since it's not in our man-made Roman Bibles, right? You still have to pray about it that you're being taught truth.
Well, and it, and it reminded me, I've been studying this. I've been studying it. And it's really a great document because it shows where, and what it is, it's a translation into Hebrew of the New Testament
Mm.
from the Aramaic, as Tia stated. And they then give us all the differences from the Greek and their input on how it differs from our Greek New Testament. And what it reminded me is, though it is not exactly the same, just like all our translations, the truth is the same. And it's real easy for those who are scholarly to put a stronger emphasis on the words and their presentation and how they're presented than for what the words signify, which is truth. It is truth that sets us free, not the King James Version or the Aramaic version or the Hebrew version. It's the truth that the words share. So like we all know this in the basics of understanding translation. If you go to France, you got to use French words to demonstrate the truth.
Mhm.
In English, we use English words, but different English words can mean different things to different people.
Mhm.
So it's like the words that we've been using for worship. What is most Americans understand worship as singing songs and praying to God. But as we've learned, worship is bowing and prostrating. And it's important that we understand the truth behind the words. And so they're really helping. And I thank you, Tia, for that. I'm really enjoying that.
So can I just clarify? Are you saying that you don't think that Revelation 22:16 says that Jesus is the bright morning star?
Correct.
So when I look at like KJV, NIV, I look at the Greek because it was written in Greek. It says that he was saying that he's the bright morning star. Just in the 22:16.
Right, in the Greek it says that, but in the Hebrew it doesn't. And to me, that makes more sense.
But it was written in Greek.
Yeah. This is really good. Because I'm glad you brought this up. Maybe we'll do a real quick Bible study to see what this says, and maybe we can get a little fuller understanding of what the scriptures are trying to teach us.
You're gonna burst my bubble and my.
No, you're very good, but
No, you're good.
Dylan's making a good part. So here it is in ESV version, 2 Peter 2:19, the morning star rises, okay? The morning star rises. So that's what that says.
Oh, this is 2 Peter 1, okay.
1:19.
I was looking at Revelation.
We're gonna do that. So looking at 2 Peter 1:19, and we possess more lively prophetic words. So we'll look at, there you are, morning star. So what is the Bible, what does the Greek actually say? The word is phoros. Now, phosphorus is the word as we understand it. So that's where we get our word for phosphorus or photo. Okay, so now the understanding is, here is the Strong's understanding of that word. The word group in Greek means light and illumination in philosophy.
Mhm.
So light in the cultist, the word group in the Old Testament, ancient Oriental. So it means light. Now, in Lunita, which is a man translating it, a light producing heavenly body, probably the morning star. They say it's a planet, but possibly the sun, until the day dawns and the light of the morning star shines in your hearts. Now, this is where we have to understand. So we can see the word can be translated many ways. It means light.
Mhm.
And then how we take that word light and decipher it. And Dylan, what did we learn about Greek words yesterday in class? We can add what to a basic word to alter it, right? And I don't know enough Greek to be able to alter that correctly, but it does mean light. So when it's translated, the morning star, we could translate that, and the light rises in your hearts. So who is light? Jesus. Okay, so that's right. So we can translate that until the light rises in your hearts. But the writer put until the day dawns and the phosphoros rises in hearts. So, okay, so that is, we have to ask our question, what is this light that rises in our hearts? And we would all agree by looking at other scriptures, because what do we have to do? We have to find another witness, right?
Mhm.
So that other witness, Jesus says, and we're going to jump down to, what was the scripture you were giving us, Dylan?
Revelation 22:16.
Okay, Revelation 22:16. So let's look at that. So Jesus is clarifying that.
You went to 22.
Yeah, I did. Is it 22:16?
Yeah.
Okay. That's because my searches. So here Jesus says, and these are Jesus' words, I, Jesus, sent my angel. So Jesus sent an angel to testify to you about these things. So he's telling to John, I sent my angel, and the angel has been testifying to John for the churches. These things for the churches. I am the root. So now he's saying he is the root. So everything in the Bible where it talks about the root, he says, I am the root. And he also says, I am the descendant of David. So wherever it says that the Messiah is the descendant of David, I am the descendant of David. I am the bright morning star. So we can see Jesus is clarifying, and let's look at what words he uses for bright morning star. So it's 22:16.
Pastor is star.
Yeah, right down there.
22:16. And they use the word lambros.
It's so funny because so many times, like, I'll pull up my Greek and it's different from your Greek, and I'm using blue letter Bible. It's just,
Yes.
It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard.
That's why Jesus says, don't
It's hard.
memorize the words,
Right.
learn the truth.
Right. Like in 2 Peter 1, that to me shows like it's not Satan that it's talking about in that.
But Satan does what? What do we know about Satan?
Deceives.
He is the deceiver. He says, I am the light. Okay. So Jesus here is not you. The translator took a different word and translated it, I am the bright morning light. And the word is, I am the shining one, bright or shining. And that is Lambros. So translators will use the same words in English for different words in Greek, which is what has happened here. So when Dylan says, well, wait a minute, Jesus says, I am the bright morning star.
Mhm.
Wait a minute. The Greek shows us that the word is a different word. It's Lambros.
It's
So,
bright,
Aster.
it says bright
Aster is
morning, it doesn't even say star.
And there's no star. I am the bright morning. Now, Dylan, go ahead.
The word before it is Aster, star.
There you go. Descendant of David, the star. So he's saying the star. I am the star, which is bright. Or I am the bright star of the morning. So there we look at all the passages. But you'll notice it uses a different Greek word, lambros, instead of phosphoros.
Okay.
Yeah, you do have lambros, right?
Yeah.
So the problem comes when we try to reconcile. Okay, here Jesus saying, I am the morning star. And he's saying, so what he's saying is, we have to be careful when we look at scripture that have the exact same words, that we don't look at those exact same words and say, well, that's what God meant, the exact same word in English. And that's where we err. Phosphorus, lambos.
Kind of like love.
Yeah, it's like love. There's 4 different. So that's why Tia does what she does. Why we do what we do. We study to find the truth in it. So Jesus is clarifying he is what God said. And he defines he is three things right there. So, but let's go back and look at what was the passage that you were concerned with, Tia, that might be...
Well, it was Revelation 22:16 and then the Isaiah 14,
Isaiah 14.
12 to 14.
Isaiah 14?
Isaiah, yeah.
12 through 14.
12, 14, or 14, 12?
Isaiah
14,
12.
12 through 14.
I got Lexidesica. Yeah.
No, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, 14, 12.
I have this text here.
Okay, so now, Dylan, explain this passage to us. 14, 12. Read it. Tell us what it means.
Well, first you have to look at what comes before it, right?
He's a good guy.
Which I don't know this at all.
Okay.
But read it, if you would.
Sure. Let me go to the ESV really quick. Because I don't have a hard time with the KJV and the NIV. Sorry. Actually, can someone else read it? I want to find it first.
Stephanie's got
It's up
Oh,
here.
I don't. I'm
It's up here.
I'm in 1
Oh, it's
Chronicles
there.
right now.
Sorry. So just starting there, it says how you were fallen from heaven, O day star, son of dawn. How you were cut down to the ground, you who laid the nations low. You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven above the stars of God. I will set my throne on high. I will sit on the mount of the assembly in the far reaches of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. Well, that's obviously not good. I can tell it's not good from that.
And then finish 15.
15, but you are brought down to Sheol, to the far reaches of the pit.
And 16.
Those who see you will stare at you and ponder over you.
So verse 12 is the verse where it says, O day star.
Son of dawn.
Your version up there is ESV. That's why it kind of threw me off.
Yeah. So who does this sound like it's talking to?
Same.
It's Satan, right? So this is what he is called by God, O Day Star, son of dawn. So Satan was called O Day Star. So now we are told what stars are in Revelation. And what are stars?
Oh,
Remember in Revelation it told us what stars are?
I forgot. But they're all named, he named every single one of them. That floors me.
Okay, so let's look up.
How do you do that? Have you ever looked at the Milky Way alone? Yes.
God tells us what stars are when he's talking.
The KJV says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?"
Alright.
Because Lucifer means light, right? Or something like that, doesn't it?
Lucifer means light, so that's what ties in here. Look at Revelation 1:20.
Wasn't he the greatest of the angels or something?
And this is where God actually defines what he's talking about. And he's going to define lampstands and stars. As for the mystery of the 7 stars, you saw in my right hand, and the 7 gold lampstands. Now he's going to tell us the 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches. So stars in God's context are angels. He's used them as angels. And the 7 lampstands are 7 churches. So now if we go back and we say, how you have fallen from heaven, O day star, O angel, day angel, son of dawn, how you are cut down to the ground who laid the nations low. So we're talking about Satan. So he was created. We're seeing a snippet in prophecy, and it goes on. Those who see you will stare at you and ponder over you. Is this the man who made the earth tremble, who shook kingdoms, who made the world like a desert and overthrew its cities, who did not let his prisoners go home? So we get a definition from God of who this star was and what he is going to do and how he is going to end up. So star means angel. But Jesus said at the end in Revelation, I am the morning star. So
I am the, did he say morning star?
I believe he said that. Didn't he say that in Revelation?
Thanks. I just need the summary because now I'm
Right,
confused
right,
again.
Right.
Bright morning star. And we looked at that and we said, well, is there just one word? No, look, there's bright and there's morning and there's star.
So then that Hebrew version is a lie.
No. Remember,
Because I thought I had my answer. Now you just took it away from me again.
what was the question?
Well, no, because in the Hebrew version, it doesn't even say that. It doesn't even say bright morning star. It's not even in there.
In Revelation.
What does it say?
The Revelation and what
Go to 22:16.
Okay. Revelation 22:16 in the
Hebrew, that it was translated from Aramaic into Hebrew.
Yeah. 22:16.
So Revelation was written in
Now you got to remember, this is a translation from Aramaic. It's Syriac, Aramaic, Syriac, to Hebrew to English. So have you ever played Telegram?
Yeah, doesn't work well.
So Revelation wasn't written in Greek?
There are, our versions were, but there are many scholars that think there were some originals in Hebrew. And they found some originals in Hebrew written in Aram, not in Hebrew, but in Aramaic. I think it's, Syriac Arabic. I'll have to confirm that.
Aramaic's not even really a written language, is it?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's a lot like Hebrew. Okay, so here is,
ESV has bright morning star.
yeah, and here is the last verse in this
Hebrew version.
in this Hebrew Revelation, which is 22:17. Both the Ruach and the bride say, come, and whoever hears him say, come, and whoever thirsts, come to the living waters and drink without money and without price. See, there is no 19.
16.
16.
Oh, Yeshua, I sent my messengers, show this to the assembly. Even I am the root of the families of David. Well, Jesus did say that, I am the root.
Right.
But this one does not say, in its translation, from two translations, does not say that. That doesn't make it true or not true.
But they have the Hebrew right next to it. It's written in Hebrew, that's why.
Yeah, that's the Hebrew.
So that, they translated off that.
Yeah.
Into English
Yeah.
for us.
Yep. So,
They just left out the last piece of the sentence.
No, they
Because
didn't leave it out, it wasn't in there.
it isn't, they did not translate it that way. I don't know Hebrew good enough to tell you whether
He
it's in.
actually on the video reads the Hebrew, and as he does it like 2 or 3 words and then in English.
And then
So
so,
I'll send the video
Yeah.
out so y'all can look at it.
But-
It's just 15 minutes.
what was your concern originally when you asked the Lord?
Originally, I was confused because it's calling Satan the bright morning star, and then in Revelation, Jesus says he's the bright morning star.
Where does it call Satan the bright morning star?
Huh? Or
That's
the
what
one
we're
you
just
just
reading.
read in Isaiah.
In Isaiah. Did it say bright morning
It
star?
says the day star.
Star of the
Day star.
morning.
Day star,
Day
yeah.
star.
Yeah. So, and that's what God created him as the day star. You were created as the day star. Yeah. So, day, but star, it used, we could call that bright, right? Because what it was the word. It wasn't phosphorus, it was,
The other word.
yeah, the other word. But we could easily translate that word that way. Lampros, yeah, lampros. So the problem comes from us understanding the translation,
Right.
because what Isaiah says, he was created to be a morning star. Now, what happens in Revelation when God comes in Revelation 22? And he creates a new earth, another 1,000 years from now, when he destroys this earth and he creates a new earth. What does the Bible say about the sun? There is no need for the sun because God shines through there. So there's an understanding that light comes from God. And that's what God's saying. But Satan was created to bear God's light as an angel. He was a star. That's what the stars are supposed to do, to bear God's light. But when they rebelled against God, what did they start to do? They bore false light. And Jesus tells us that, right? He comes parading as a light, but he is all wickedness. So that's what God's saying in Isaiah. You were created to bear my light, just like all the angels. But you fell. And now, and Jesus tells us, you bear false light, lying, deceiving, false light.